day once again. My name is Pastor Tola, Odutola, and I'm going to continue with our teachings on leadership. Today I'm going to be talking about leadership and service in challenging times. Leadership and service in challenging times. I want us to know without any doubt that leadership in itself is difficult and quite demanding. Leadership in itself is difficult and quite demanding. Unless you have not been a leader or you are not a leader, then can people begin to play Monday morning quarterback. And what I mean by that is that they begin to talk about what you could have done or what somebody should have done to make things better until you get there. And you realize that it's not as easy as you think, or as many of us think. Leadership is not just challenging or difficult, but in challenging times like we are in right now, it even makes it more difficult. The true definition of great leadership is displayed in difficult times. How you are able to navigate difficult times. How you are able to make sure that you do not lose the people that are looking up to you during difficult times. How you are able to make sure that people stay focused or your business stays focused in difficult times. Like I've said many times, because I'm a pastor, I'm going to be using scriptural stories to highlight the points that I'm trying to make. In the story of David coming back from war, and he realized that Ziklag had been ravaged, that Ziklag had been attacked by the Amalekites, David was very, very distraught. David was very, very discouraged. Bible says that all their wives, all the things that they had, their assets, their animals, everything had been taken away by the Amalekites. And David was discouraged. The scripture says that they cried until there was no more strength in them. And all of a sudden, David said to himself, I cannot continue like this. You know, it is possible for you to be going through a challenge. And in most cases, or in some cases, it looks as if there is no hope. But then you can't continue like that. You have to find a way to go forward. Because your attitude or how you respond in challenging times determines whether you go forward or you allow it to sink you. The past 18 months has been very challenging for almost everybody all over the world. The pandemic of the virus has attacked many businesses, many churches, many homes, many people's jobs. The economy had been impacted. Of course, the politics had been impacted. And may I say that the church is not even exempt from this. The economy of many churches and members have been impacted negatively. So when David went through this, he said to himself, there must be a way out. And we know the story. For those of us who know the story, David encouraged, the Bible says, himself in the Lord, and he went to God. He said, shall I pursue? Will I recover all? And God said, you will not only pursue, you'll overtake, but you'll recover all. So how do we navigate these challenging times we are living today? Or how do we navigate any challenging times at all? Because surely there will be challenging times. Life is not just a bed of roses that you say to yourself, oh, this is just going to be hunky-dory every time. No, there are times that there will be challenges in your marriage, there will be challenges in your business, there will be challenges at work, There'll be challenges in the church. How do we navigate this? Number one is vision. Vision. You must focus on something that is bigger than the times you are in. In that story of David, David needed something greater than the current situation so that he can redirect the people's energy towards that thing. Because it takes a lot of energy to cry. It takes a lot of energy to have emotions, especially negative emotions. Situations like we are in now depresses many. Many, I dare say, even go into medications because of the depression. It takes our eyes off God at times. Because rather than people looking up to God or things that matter, they begin to fight for survival. It's time that people begin to cut corners. In a lot of churches today, and if you're a pastor listening to me, I want you to take note of these things, because I know there is a way out. And like I've always said, what I'm teaching are principles. It can be applied anywhere. I just choose to use the church as a foundation and the scriptures as my foundation. Many members of our members have switched to survival modes. Their obligations to the church and to the works of the ministry have become secondary. Many churches have built mega mansions, buildings. And because of all these buildings, so big, it's so expensive to maintain. Now fewer people come to church. What do? Money becomes a major commodity that people are hoarding. Because whenever in times of difficulties, people try to just stretch what they have. David came up with a vision that is greater than the challenges they were facing. David went to God to ask whether he should pursue. It is possible to be in a bad situation, but you can adjust and recalibrate. A resilient leader avoids being weighed down by the challenges around him. Let me give you one example, personal example, and there are many. I trained as an accountant. And while I was in Nigeria in those days, to be a professional accountant, you had to pass your exams, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria exams, and you thereby get an ACA. Now, that exam was one of the most difficult exams I've ever been attended. It was not just difficult, we were told that there is a particular percentage that they must pass in every year so that there are not too many in the market. I'm not in the legal profession, but I know until recent years past, if you want to become a senior advocate, very few people go through that thing. Very rigorous. But in the past 1 or 2 years, I think, was it 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I can't remember right now, that they had a lot of people. I said, really? I knew lawyers, they try to manage how many people become members of the silk. It's the same thing with the accounting profession. In those days, we usually go for extramural classes and, just remedial classes just to help us brush up what we know and how to do well in the exams. I had done this exam twice and I failed. And on the third occasion, on the second occasion, I had a reference. I I didn't even know. But I assumed I had failed. This is the challenge at times in life when you get used to challenging times of failure and you lower your expectation. So I went to check my result. I got to the place, I looked on the board. There were many people there. I looked and I didn't see my number. So I assumed that I had failed. It was painful. It was very depressing. But like David did here, I encouraged myself in the Lord and I made up my mind I was going to register again to do the exams. Unknown to me, I got there to the place to register. I didn't go home to cry. And the registrar of the place said to me, have you checked your result? I said, yes, I've checked. He said, what happened? I said, I failed. He said, did you really check? I said, yes, I did. He said, but you didn't fail, but you passed. I was shocked. This was an exam I believe I had done. This was my third attempt. Yeah, third attempt. And I thought I had failed. And he showed me the master list. I was so elated with joy. I went back to the same place again because I had seen the master list. I knew where my number was and my name was. I looked at it, I shouted there, and I said, oh, I passed. And people around me, they began to congratulate me. You must have a superior plan, which is the vision that is bigger than what you are going through, if you are going to get out of it. In Genesis 26, many preachers will preach about this. You know, how Isaac dug the well that his father had dug before them. How people challenged him. They fought him. But the Bible says that the more they fought him, the more Isaac dug other wells. It is possible to dig another well, even though you are going through a challenge. You must not allow adversity or challenges to define or to pin you down. If you keep on digging, the Bible says you will find your reward. Because after a while, they stopped contending with Isaac. And he found his reward. And he said, God has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. I pray that wherever you are, that you'll be fruitful in the land. Number 2, what do? Is encouragement. Encouragement. Or you can call it motivation. In 1 Samuel chapter 6, David was so depressed that people talked of stoning him. 1 Samuel 30 verse 6. Because the people's, their soul was grieved. But David strengthened himself in the Lord his God. I had to encourage myself concerning that accounting exam. Challenging times can be very depressing. People are looking for who to blame. Many times it's the leader that bears the front. Even in nations that everybody does whatever they want to do, they will look for one leader to blame. What they forget most times is that some of these leaders are also impacted by it. You can be in a business or in a place of work and they are cutting salaries and they are reducing wages, and everybody is affected. As leaders, you must constantly encourage yourself. At times when we talk about this encouragement, people think we're just being spooky. No, I'm not being spooky right now. You can look for people around you that can support and encourage you. You can look for people who are going through similar things that you are going through and just have a chat with them. Just unbundle, just say what you are going through. You can have an inner circle of people and you exchange ideas. The loneliness of leadership can be depressing. And at times, many leaders have built walls around themselves. walls that other leaders cannot get through. They have built walls and they try to do things on their own. It's not everything that you can do alone. You will need help. You need to talk to someone who can tell you that they too are going through it, but this is how they came out of it. You must see the cup half full, not half empty. When you look at things from a perspective that things will be all right, you get out of it faster than your contemporaries. There is always room for thanksgiving. It could have been worse. I'm telling you, there's always room for thanksgiving. There's a story of a man called Jacob. He worked for Laban to marry his daughter, his uncle. And he worked for 7 years. After 7 years, they gave him a different wife than the one he worked for. They wanted to marry. This man continued for another 7 years. Eventually, he married Rachel. 10 times his salary was reviewed downwards. Have you ever had your salary reviewed downwards? 10 times his own was reviewed in a span of 20 years. But this guy, he was not discouraged. But one day, he went to his master and said, I need to go. The only reason I believe Jacob survived that onslaught was that he was always hopeful that things will not be like this forever. I'm telling you, I'm not teaching what I don't know. I'm teaching what I know. I have been there. When everything looks so bleak, when everything looks so discouraging, as if there's no future. But I look at myself today. I say, see what the Lord has done. Thank God I didn't give up hope. No wonder David said, I would have been depressed unless I had not believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Are you listening to me today or watching me online? Don't give in to depression. I'm telling you, if you keep on digging, you will get your water. If you keep on walking, I'm telling you, the doors will open to you. Seeing the cup half full gives the ability to hold on until your breakthrough comes. David encouraged himself. 600 people, 400 out of them were encouraged. The other people refused to be encouraged. It is possible that not everybody will be encouraged around you. That's okay. You keep on doing what you're doing. Don't forget they have lost their jobs. Don't forget they have lost their homes. Don't forget some of them have lost their joy. But the way and the rate at which people recover from this is different. Your main goal as a leader is to stabilize the ship.
The message you just listened to is brought to you by the friends and partners to Line Crosses program. To become a partner or sponsor of this program, send us an email at info@jesushousebaltimore.org. You can also contact us at www.alphaleadershipconference.net or simply call us on 410-521-4783. And you can make your contributions at Zenith Bank PLC, Elroy Media account 101-767-5913. 101-767-5913. God bless you.